A lot has changed and is still changing in Disney World, with a new CEO cleaning house, pandemic changes in flux, and surge pricing taking over just about everywhere. You're going to need to know how your 2023 trip will be different from any other trip you've taken to Disney World, and what tools you're going to need to navigate it. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. As we get ready to ring in the new year, it's time to make some headway on all our Disney World planning for next year's trip. So what better place to start building that dream trip than by getting a good idea of what you're gonna need, not just want, need to have at Disney in 2023. And some of these you've never thought about before until now. Want all these tips in the palm of your hand or your inbox? Drop us your email at disneyfoodblog.com/2023guide and we'll send you all the details completely for free. Let's start our list of tools you're going to need to go to Disney World in 2023 with what's new and different, right? A list of opening dates is something that's going to be really, really important as you're making your 2023 plans. Roundup Rodeo Barbecue in Disney's Hollywood Studios should be opening soon, like within the next few weeks, because they did say 2022 on this one. Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, that's opening in Epcot in late 2023. Tron Light Cycle Run opens in Magic Kingdom in spring 2023. More restaurants will start popping up around property, like Summer House on the Lake in Disney Springs and Gwendolyn Rogers Cake Bake Shop at Disney's Boardwalk Inn. And that's only the beginning. Disney has so much planned for the next couple of years. So if you're someone who has a New Year's resolution to experience one or several of the new changes coming to Disney World in 2023, keep these tips in your back pocket. 1. Prioritize advanced dining reservations. New restaurants usually mean reservations go before you even have time to snap your fingers. So when you hear about an official opening date for a restaurant, check and see how far away said opening date is from your trip. You'll be able to start making advanced dining reservations 60 days before the start of your trip. So mark 60 days out on your calendar and set reminders on your phone. Disney releases reservations starting at 6 a.m. Eastern each day, but they can also release them as early as 5:45. We've even gotten some at 5:30. So make sure you're all logged on to your Disney account before that 6 a.m. time frame to increase your chances of success. Now, this isn't just important info to apply to the new restaurants, but also the classic and recently returning popular ones like Akershus Royal Banquet Hall at Epcot, that princess character meal, Sci-Fi Dine-In at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Cinderella's Royal Table at Magic Kingdom, Ohana at Polynesian Village Resort, even Tusker House Restaurant at Animal Kingdom has been very hard to get lately. All right, number 2, Tron Light Cycle Run will more than likely have a virtual queue system, just like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind has in Epcot and like Rise of the Resistance started with when it first opened. So it's a good idea to study up on that boarding group system before Tron's official opening date is announced. We've got an entire post on the DFB website going in depth with how this process works step by step, as well as additional tips and tricks that we tend to use to improve our chances of securing a spot in line. Also, keep in mind that those opening days for rides have always been a madhouse, virtual queue or not. Though the idea of going into a new ride on opening day is certainly appealing for the sake of major bragging rights, it's not necessarily the most practical time to visit the parks. You may want to at least wait a few months after a ride is opened to book your trip. That way, you'll not only have a better chance at securing a spot in the queue, you'll also have a better chance of being able to ride the ride without any hiccups, since new rides experience their fair share of breakdowns as they adjust to their new life of running all day long. Okay, next on our list of things you need to have when you go to Disney World in 2023, a full understanding of Disney Genie Plus. Notice how I worded this one. I'm not saying you need to have Disney Genie Plus for your trip, but you definitely need to know more about it before brushing it off, because it's not going away anytime soon. Genie Plus is a premium service ranging around $15 to $30 per person per day that allows you to make Lightning Lane reservations. Those are going to help you bypass the main standby queue lines for over 40 attractions. But it gets more complicated. The more popular rides in the parks are not included in the 40 rides. So if you want to skip over the main line for a ride like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot or Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios, you'll need to make a separate individual Lightning Lane purchase for those if you want to bypass the queue line, and that'll cost you a surge price around $10 to $17 per ride per day. Knowing when to buy Genie Plus can be tricky, especially ever since the Genie Plus surge price rate was introduced in October. On the one hand, if you're purchasing Genie Plus when the surge prices are on the lower end of the cost spectrum, then you're probably going to be running into a lighter crowd day as is, since the prices only tick up when crowd levels go up. And when crowd levels go up, demand for Genie Plus goes up, and you know what that means? Prices increase. So if you purchase Genie Plus when you're really going to need it, like during the holiday seasons when the parks can start looking as crowded as a mosh pit, but like the mosh pit is everywhere, then you're also going to be paying top dollar for this line bypassing benefit. We've got a whole video talking about all the major ins and outs of the Genie Plus individual Lightning Lane services, but for now, let's talk about a couple of really crucial tips for this premium add-on that you may not have heard before. Tip 1. Finding those pay-per-ride selections can be trickier than tapping a way to secure a Genie Plus Lightning Lane. To buy the pay-per-ride selections, those individual Lightning Lanes, you'll have to open the My Disney Experience app, tap on the My Disney Genie Day option, switch over to the tip board, change the park to the one you'll be visiting that day since it will automatically default to Magic Kingdom every time, and then scroll down to find the ride that'll have individual Lightning Lanes available for purchase. This isn't necessarily a tough process, but it's more time-consuming and complicated than just purchasing Genie Plus, which you can do at midnight, and being able to automatically select Lightning Lane reservations in seconds at 7 a.m. And time is of the essence when you're trying to book Lightning Lanes when they first drop at 7 a.m. because despite their priciness, individual Lightning Lanes still have the tendency to book up fast. Tip 2 for Genie, don't forget to refresh. Genie Plus is like a quick time event on a video game. You gotta prioritize the rides you most want to ride that day and secure those Lightning Lane return times quickly. But this game is ever changing. At one point, you might see a return time for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at 4 p.m. When you check again, it's 2:30 p.m. Or maybe even it's jumped to 6 p.m. Or maybe it's not available at all anymore. You might not find something you need right away, but that could change after you refresh the page. If you're using Genie Plus and you're having trouble finding a Lightning Lane return time that works for you and your group, then you might want to consider refreshing the page, see if it pops up again. This method has worked for us loads of times, and it only takes a few seconds for you to try it out yourself. As excited as you may be to get this vacation locked in and paid for, there may be a twinge of apprehension that follows because, well, anything could happen between now and your trip, especially if your trip is still several months out. And that's a whole lot of money you've got on the line. And that's why it's not a bad idea to consider adding vacation insurance for an extra sense of security. There are lots of types of insurance you can look into, like there's lots of insurance you use every day, like health insurance or car insurance or renter's insurance, etc. Lots of times travel insurance works like an umbrella over your entire trip, covering a whole lot of different expenses. That way, if something major were to happen that would force you to jump ship, like medical emergency, loss in the family, or severe weather conditions, you would still be able to get a reimbursement for several, if not all, of your unused travel expenses that are normally non-refundable. If you use Disney's own travel protection plan, then this also includes reimbursements toward theme park ticket prices, which you're not really going to see in other travel protection plans. But then again, you may find a third-party travel protection plan that's more affordable and covers more expenses than Disney's does. So it's always best to look over your different options and figure out what's going to work best for you if you're interested in that coverage. There are also vacation insurances that are a little more compartmentalized, like specific car rental insurance and airline insurance, which will normally just be added through the exact rental site or airline you're booking through. Just for a quick example, let's take a look at the different options Hertz has for their rental cars. When you book a car through Hertz, you'll have the option to add a loss damage waiver in case the car is damaged or stolen for around $105 total, a liability waiver in case you get into an accident for around $48 total, and or a protection plan in case you or any passengers in your car need medical attention post-accident for around $23. Several offerings are available through other rental sites too, like Avis and Alamo, but you might find better deals on protection plans through third-party agencies. And your own car insurance could cover you on renting a car as well, so definitely look into that. Now, if you are renting a car, then generally speaking, you're still probably not going to need this if the standard car insurance you already have, like Progressive or State Farm or whatever, covers rental cars already. You'll just need to read up on your current car insurance policy to double check to see if you're good to go, or if you need that extra protection before heading out on I-4 from MCO toward Disney World. As far as flight insurance is concerned, this could be a little more convenient to have on hand. Lots of airlines offer flight insurance that cover things like delayed flights or lost damage or delayed checked luggage, and any cancellations you make, even if they need to be made at the last minute. But again, different airlines can offer different coverage packages, just like third-party agencies can do. There are several different third-party agencies waiting to sell you on an insurance policy plan, but make sure you read up on these different agencies, what they can do for you versus what the actual airline or rental location or Disney theme park can do. Also, when browsing through those third-party sites, you can always request a quote to get a better idea of what agencies will expect you to pay and what they plan on covering for you as compared to other travel agency sites. Next on our list of things you need in Disney World in 2023, My Disney Experience. Now, we've talked in depth about one of the My Disney Experience tools. Let's talk about My Disney Experience, period, because this little free app could be considered a genie in and of itself, with its maximum cosmic powers and itty-bitty living space, aka your phone. So the My Disney Experience app launched back in early 2013 and has been a vital part of the way people navigate around Disney World ever since. Consider the My Disney Experience app the Swiss Army knife of vacation planning because it tends to cover all the bases. It can help you make dining reservations, lets you mobile order from the quick service locations and mobile checkout at certain Disney-owned gift shops, shows you not just lightning lanes but also forecasted wait times for rides throughout the day. It'll save your PhotoPass pictures and your tickets, park pass reservations, and hotel reservations. It'll get you in a virtual queue for the newest Disney rides, hook you up with guest services via mobile chat, provide healthcare services, compliment cast members, locate your car in a parking lot, literally so many things. So before you head off for your vacation, you're not just going to want to know what is offered on this app, but you're going to want to make sure it's downloaded and updated with all your Disney profile information. And if you're going to want to mobile order any food or do mobile checkout, you're also going to need a payment option loaded in there. That way you'll have access to all the details of your trip at all times, right there on your phone for free. Next thing you're going to need in Disney World in 2023, your tissues. Okay, for this one, I have a literal and a figurative, sort of. So we're going to start with the literal. Those little packs of tissues that you can shove into various pockets of your park bag, bring them. In the past 6 months, I have needed those on various trips for allergy attacks, FYI, even if you've never had allergies. If you go to Epcot during the Flower and Garden Festival, even you may succumb. Bloody noses, nothing like having your kid get a spontaneous bloody nose as your plane is literally taking off, thank goodness for this tissue pack, going in a stall with no toilet paper, and accidents of all kinds. Tissues are a lifesaver, just bring them. But let's not forget about other uses for tissues in Disney World. Random tears. New experiences are coming to Disney World next year, including those brand new nighttime spectaculars, and they could cause some feelings. That's right. Disney Enchantment and Magic Kingdom and Harmonious and Epcot will draw the curtains in 2023 to make way for 2 new nighttime spectaculars, aka the fireworks. Disney calls them nighttime spectaculars. I don't know why. I guess it's because some of them maybe don't have fireworks. I don't know. Now, we still don't have a lot of details concerning what's coming to Epcot next, but we do know Happily Ever After will be returning to the Magic Kingdom. Well, sort of. Though the Happily Ever After soundtrack is going to come back. The castle projections will be getting a new update. There may be some different fireworks. Once we hear more about that update, we'll be sure to fill you in. But the song will be back, and we know the song makes us cry. For now, the current nighttime spectaculars, fireworks, should still be around through the beginning of the new year. I'm assuming we're going to start hearing more about these changes around the time Disney World wraps up their 50th anniversary celebration at the end of March. So if you want to catch one of the final showings of Magic Kingdom and Epcot's current shows, plan on hitting up the Disney parks sooner in the year rather than later on. If you don't care about these shows and you want to see the new ones, probably after the end of March is the time you're going to want to focus. Next, you need to have the skinny on surge pricing. Surge pricing isn't new. We've seen prices dip and spike during down seasons and peak seasons at Disney World for lots of years, but before it was just hotel prices and theme park ticket prices that we needed to worry about. When Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes were introduced to the scene in 2021, individual lightning lanes came at surge pricing, originally ranging between $7 and $15. But in October, a year after Disney Genie's launch, this surge format reached the standard Genie Plus options too. Now, instead of paying a set price of $15 per person per day, the $15 mark is the minimum price you could potentially pay for Genie Plus. During peak times, like over Thanksgiving break, we've seen Genie Plus prices get as high as $29 per person per day. And that's not the end of the surge pricing pandemic. Park hoppers are no longer set at $65 per ticket per day, or for a Park Hopper Plus, $85 per ticket per day. Now, Park Hoppers will change in price depending on when you visit. Same thing goes for one-day, one-park tickets. Sure, theme park tickets have been influenced by a surge pricing system for a while, but one day, one park tickets, meaning you're just going to one park that day, are now charged by the park as well as by the time you're visiting, meaning Epcot could be more expensive than Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios could be more expensive than Epcot. Magic Kingdom is the most expensive of them all because it's the most popular. Much like we've had to handle surge pricing in the past, the same rules tend to apply now. You visit during Disney's down season, like the start of the year or back to school time, to get the best prices prices. But if you need to travel during busier times of the year, try planning your trip around the weekdays rather than the weekends. Yep, weekends can still cost you a pretty penny, but Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays manage to see those peak surge prices more often than weekdays do. Though many surge prices take things on a day-by-day basis, like Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes, for instance, you can check out the ticket price calendar on the Disney World website and get a look at all the different ticket price ranges throughout all of 2023. Those ticket prices are subject to change, but you can still get a good idea as to what end of the fluctuating price spectrum all surge prices might tip towards during your trip, just by comparing those ticket prices in advance. All right, shameless plug here. You don't want to visit Disney World in 2023 without a subscription to our newsletter. So much is going to change next year, just like it did this year. We've got a new CEO, some things are tumultuous in the economy, so you want to be kept up to date on discounts, park updates, new rides, park pass changes, if there are any, park hours changes, tips and tricks to manage all of those new policies. The best way to do this, which is totally free, is to join our newsletter. You will not miss a single update, I can guarantee you, and you'll find out about the changes before anyone else does. Go ahead and sign up at the link in our bio. You can unsubscribe at any time, and if you want to keep up to date on all the news and sort of be reminded if discounts are about to end, we do that too. Next on our list of things you don't want to go to Disney World without is understanding your cancellation policies. You probably don't want to think about your dream Disney trip needing to be canceled, but if the past couple of years have taught us anything, it's you need to be prepared for whatever curveballs get thrown your way. So let's take a look at the different cancellation and refund policies you're going to need to be aware of if something does interrupt your vacation. Hotel reservations. You can cancel with no penalties up to 5 days before the first day of your stay, as long as you're canceling room-only reservations. You'll just need to go to disneyworld.com/mytrip and log into your account, cancel or modify your trip. You can also call 407-934-7639. But if you want to cancel a room that's part of a whole vacation package, things get a little stickier. You have to cancel your reservation within 30 days of the first day of your stay to get a full refund. For cancellations made 2 to 29 days prior to your arrival, a refund is going to be issued minus a cancellation fee of $200 per package. For cancellations made 1 day or less prior to guest arrival, you lose everything you paid for the trip. If you need to cancel your vacation package because of a hurricane, there is a hurricane exception for this policy. If a hurricane warning has been issued by the National Hurricane Center for Orlando or for where you live within 7 days of your arrival day, you should be able to cancel or reschedule your vacation package. But if you call that number I listed earlier, watch out, because phone wait times will skyrocket, and you might be left listening to that scratchy phone wait time music loop for hours. For advanced dining reservations, cancellation policies have recently changed. Before, you needed to give the restaurant at least a 24-hour notice. Otherwise, you would have to pay a no-show fee of $10 per person. Now, you can cancel most dining reservations up to 2 hours in advance without having to pay that $10 per person fee. I say most dining reservations because this new policy still doesn't apply to prepaid restaurants like Hoop-De-Doo Musical Review at Disney Resort Wilderness and Cinderella's Royal Table over there at Magic Kingdom. It doesn't apply to Victoria and Albert's at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa or Monsieur Paul at Epcot. Now for park tickets, once you've bought them, they're yours for the keeping. Theme park tickets are non-refundable and will expire 14 days after their first use. If you haven't gotten the chance to use your purchase tickets at all yet, you can oftentimes apply non-expired tickets to future visits. Note, the hurricane exception does apply to tickets too. And if you haven't used your tickets yet, you may be able to transfer them to someone else. But when it comes to refunds, those usually aren't going to happen. For tours, like Keys to the Kingdom or Starlight Safari or Behind the Seeds, each Disney World tour has its own cancellation policy, but most require cancellation at least 2 days before your reservation or you lose the entire cost of the tour. The specific cancellation policy for the tour you've booked should be listed on the Disney World website in the Know Before You Go section on the tour's main page. As far as flight cancellations are concerned, each airline has its own cancellation policies as well. While some flights continue to be pretty strict about cancellations, others are a little more flexible. Just to list off a few, over at American Airlines, you can purchase a refundable ticket for an extra price, but in the case you need to cancel a non-refundable ticket, you'll only be able to get your money back if you cancel within 24 hours from when you first purchased said ticket. Otherwise, you can cancel, but then you're going to have a trip credit or a flight credit. You're going to have to use the money for American Airlines tickets. Also, if there's a schedule change of more than 4 hours and you decide to tap out, you can get your money back there as well. A few other exceptions can also be found on the American Airlines website. For JetBlue, you don't have to worry about cancellation fees unless you're flying Blue Basic. Blue Basic passengers can still cancel their trips, but they will have to pay $100 per person with rates subject to change. As for Southwest, there are no cancellation fees you'll need to worry about. But if you have a non-refundable ticket, it'll be transferred into a flight credit for future use. Now, let's talk about more trusty apps. My Disney Experience isn't the only app you're going to want to have loaded into your phone before vacation. There are lots out there that have made our Disney vacation lives a lot easier. We're going to talk about a few specific ones that have been helpful recently. Now, please note, none of these are ads. Some of our team members have used these and really liked them, and they wanted you to know about them. First one is Skip Lagged. So this is a flight search engine that makes a bold statement. It claims to show you flights that the airlines won't show you, ensuring you get the best possible price available. It also states you have the potential of saving up to 80% on flights by using their service. We've got a DFB post that goes into more detail about how they're able to pull these kinds of savings off. I'll link that in the description below. But if you're looking for flights and you want the cheapest ones, that could help. Next, Uber and Lyft. Okay, here are some familiar app names you've probably heard about before. Premium rideshare apps can be super useful when you're in Disney World and the transportation's getting a little too busy or it's taking too long. But even if you tend to prefer one rideshare service over the other, download both options. We found that sometimes Lyft rides can be a cheaper option, other times Uber rides can be a cheaper option. No rhyme or reason to it really, not to mention if one app is having technical difficulties, it's nice to have a backup plan. Next one is Troop. This is from JetBlue, and it's basically a place for everyone in your group to help make vacation decisions. So for example, you're trying to decide on what hotel or resort or Airbnb you're going to stay at, you can make suggestions through this app for the group to look over, and then they can leave comments and vote on which hotel they would want to stay in. This could help prevent a lot of unnecessary back and forth, especially if you're traveling with big family reunion or multiple couples or whatever, and then everyone feels like they're involved with the process. Or if you don't want to deal with that drama, just make all the decisions yourself. That's how I tend to do things. Next up are those DoorDash and Instacart. Now, I know I'm pointing out DoorDash specifically. Honestly, any food delivery app, Grubhub, Postmates, Uber Eats, whatever. Anyone that'll pick up food for you outside Disney property and get it to your hotel. When it arrives, you can pick it up at Bell Services. Probably even with the delivery fees, it'll be a lot cheaper than food you're going to buy in Disney World. And Instacart. I've been talking about them a lot lately, but it has saved my rear end on multiple occasions. Similar to food delivery services, you can Instacart groceries from outside the Disney bubble, have them delivered to your hotel. It's a super convenient way to save a lot of money on paying for food or last minute essentials on Disney property. Need a step-by-step walkthrough on that one? We've got a post for that too. I'll link that one down below as well. Next on our list of things you're going to need in Disney World in 2023, I do not go to Disney World without multiples of these, and they are portable chargers. Since you'll be using your own phone a lot to refer to all these apps, as well as take as many videos and pictures as possible to send to the grandparents, or maybe even of the grandparents, you won't be able to strictly rely on just charging your phone overnight to keep it fully juiced all day long, which means you're going to need some portable chargers. Now, you can pay for a fuel rod at one of the many fuel rod kiosks around the Disney parks, which you'll be able to swap out for fully charged fuel rods at other locations when those run out of juice. But those little fuel rods aren't super powerful, and they're still going to put you back $30. Amazon tends to have more powerful portable chargers with the ability to charge multiple phones at once for around the same price, if not cheaper. They even have fuel rods for sale on Amazon too. You can get a pack of 2 for $35, and these will still work at the designated Disney World fuel rod kiosks. That's an important tip. Get your original fuel rods for a lot cheaper and then switch them out when you're at Disney World. Giant important news. Now, if you're like me and you don't want to carry around a big honkin' portable charger, a giant one that just is so heavy, I have a couple of little lightweight ones that I bring. It only charges your phone like 1 time or 1.5 times, but they're super handy and they plug right into your phone, so you don't have to worry about bringing a charging cord either. Next on our list is new gadgets. If you have gadgets and gizmos aplenty, but you want more, then avoid all sea witches, but check out these cool devices that are great for new and seasoned travelers alike. We have someone on our team who's a digital nomad. She travels around all the time, and these are a few of the things that she uses religiously to make sure that everything goes smoothly on her travels. First up is these things called leak locks. They can be slipped over any kind of toiletry that has the potential to leak, and these seals prevent shampoos or lotion or even bubble juice, if you've got some bubble juice, juice in there, not a toiletry, but still leak prone, from spilling into your suitcase or your park bag and making a mess of things. Next thing we're going to tell you to bring, this is not a new gadget, but it's never there when you need it. Things like can openers, bottle openers, and wine openers. Now, it doesn't feel like it'll serve you a whole lot of purpose on a Disney vacation, but if you're booking a hotel room that has a kitchenette or kitchen so you can order groceries and make meals in your room, sometimes they come with can openers, sometimes they don't. So think about things you're going to use in those kitchenettes or those kitchens that they're not going to provide. I always need a wine opener. Sorry, gonna be honest about it. Bottle openers, those can come right on a can opener. So if you find one of those really lightweight can openers, you can just sort of shove it in your suitcase and then you've got it if you need it. But I'm sure there are lots of other things that you guys have found that you've needed in your Disney World hotel that you just don't have. I always grab a few extra fast food utensils like forks, knives, and spoons. I always sort of have those in my suitcase as well because I know that I'm going to need those late at night because I always buy late night cupcakes and I like to eat them with a fork. I don't know what to tell you about that. And those food storage bags. Want to talk about food storage bags? Because I want to talk about food storage bags. In the past, I've recommended those Ziploc baggies to have in your park bag just in case you save a snack for later. You got a place to store your wet socks. You got a place to store your technology when you're riding a water ride. Those are super, super useful. I use them all the time. I always have a bunch of giant freezer grade Ziplocs in my suitcase front pocket. But if you want a storage bag that has lots of uses and you don't have to keep disposing bags, if you want those reusable storage bags, you can get some reusable storage bags for around $15 on Amazon, and then you don't have to worry about throwing away plastic. Speaking of other reusable items, there are lots of other ones you can invest in from having to continuously buy the disposable ones. You can get reusable utensils and straws, reusable emotional support water bottles, and another reusable item to keep on hand as we head into 2023 are shopping bags, because Disney might start phasing out their free plastic shopping bags and pushing the sales of their reusable ones. So if you already have a reusable shopping bag on hand, you can easily fold away and slip into your park backpack, then you'll already be thinking 3 steps ahead of the game. Next on our list, of course, the 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining. I can't tell you how useful this guide is. We put everything we know into this guide, all kinds of information. If you're interested in supporting our channel or supporting our website, this is the best way to do it. You can pre-order your 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining today on the dfbstore.com website, and this one's going to provide you with hundreds of pages covering each of the restaurants around Disney World property, reviews, recommendations, and updated dining tips, suggestions for off-menu orders that only the insiders know about, lots of budgeting details, scavenger hunts, trivia, top 5 lists, and even bingo boards, that's right. And at the cost of sounding cliche, so much more. A pre-order today means you'll get an automatic download for the current 2022 DFB Dining Guide at no extra cost. And also, this purchase is guaranteed. If you're not happy, we will give you your money back and we won't take the book back. You can still keep it. Because it's a PDF download, so you can still have it, and if you hate it, we'll give you your money back. So don't forget to type in code YouTube if you go ahead and purchase, and that'll get you some extra savings off. Next on our list of things you've got to have in Disney World in 2023, your Park Pass reservations. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep talking about these because they are so important. If the holiday crowds haven't been enough of a red flag, I'm here to remind you that yes, Park Pass reservations will still be important in 2023. These guarantee your place in the parks even on the busiest Disney days, and you won't get into the parks without one, so it's not optional. Before you purchase your Disney World tickets, make sure to check the Park Pass reservation calendar on the Disney World website and double check that the parks you're wanting to visit still have reservation spots available. Magic Kingdom is the one you're going to want to keep an eye on since Park Passes book up weeks in advance over there, and in some cases even months in advance. And remember, if you're looking to buy a one-day, one-park Disney ticket for your Orlando vacation, then you won't have to worry about making a separate Park Pass reservation like you would if you were planning on visiting the parks on multiple days. Starting December 8th, all one-day, one-park tickets will automatically include Park Pass reservations, so there's an extra step you won't have to stress over. But how many of us are really buying one-day, one-park tickets, right? Not many. Still, if you are, there you go. And also remember that other big change hitting the one-day, one-park ticket scene. These single-day tickets will now have surge prices based on not just when you decide to visit, but which park you decide to visit. That means Magic Kingdom is going to cost more than all the other parks. Next thing you're going to want to bring to Disney World in 2023. If you want unique Disney shirts that everyone's going to be asking you about in the parks without having to pay park prices, we're back at the DFB store website for more goodies for you to add to your virtual shopping cart. Instead of digital guides this time, we're talking about the DFB swag. We got tons of different Disney designs for you to choose from for the whole family to support your 2023 Disney World vacation. If you want very cool shirts that do not cost as much as shirts cost in Disney World and still display your park intentions, here we go. These are exclusive to DFB. You can get them at merch.dfbstore.com. And we've got some great designs for the whole family for your family shirts for your trip. Extra room in your budget. We saw a lot of prices hike upwards in 2022. We saw a lot of surge pricing introduced. We saw a lot of changes in the way things are priced. And there are specific times of year that Disney tends to hike up prices, like January and October, but that can always change. Why do prices increase like this? Well, several reasons: demand, inflation, supply shortages, and usually food and merch prices don't hike up so much that you're going to notice right away. Usually they'll increase by like 50 cents or a couple bucks. But a few increases here and there will sneak up on your budget. So make sure to save more money for snacks, foods, and souvenirs than you think you may need based on your previous trip. Even if you don't end up spending the extra funds, it's better than coming up short and having to unexpectedly dip into your non-vacation account. Once you've decided on a souvenir and snack budget, you may want to invest in Disney gift cards leading up to your trip. Not only does this help you create your own kind of dining plan where you save money beforehand instead of worrying about paying out of pocket during your vacation, but you'll also be able to keep tabs on how much you're spending at the stores and restaurants. You can also save money by spending money on Disney gift cards if you buy them through Target as a Red Card holder. Red Card members will save 5% on all Target purchases, including Disney gift card purchases. Now, I just wanted to triple check that this still worked because we talk about it a lot here on the channel. So I recently went ahead and tried to buy a Disney gift card on Target.com, and I went ahead and got it with my Red Card, 5% off, so it still works as far as I can tell. Next thing you're going to want to have in Disney World in 2023 is a Plan B. You probably have some really high standards for your 2023 Disney World vacation, as you should, but don't make your high standards into unreasonable expectations. The truth is, not everything is going to go 100% according to plan. It never does, not even for experts, ever. A nasty storm could swoop in and cancel one of the new nighttime spectaculars. All the boarding passes from Tron Light Cycle Run could get snatched up before you get the chance to even turn on your phone. A restaurant you really wanted to go to might not have any more availability. And I know this makes me sound like a negative Nelly, but hear me out. I'm not trying to tell you to focus on the potential negatives. I'm trying to tell you that it's important to be flexible. Having a Plan B could mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. It could mean upgrading one of your park tickets to a park hopper and jumping back over to the park with the nighttime spectacular you missed out on the first time around. Or it could mean making a different advanced dining reservation for now, but keeping a careful eye on the dining tips board on your My Disney Experience app just in case any last minute availability pops up for your first choice. By the way, I've seen a lot of very popular restaurants pop up on that Dining Now tab thing. Definitely check that out last minute. Or it could mean trying again for a boarding pass when 1 p.m. rolls around, since the virtual queue currently opens up twice each day, once at 7 a.m., once at 1 p.m., giving you another chance at success. Or your Plan B could just be as simple as realizing you may not be able to do everything you've set out to accomplish on your 2023 trip. And even though these upsets can be upsetting, they don't have to completely derail your trip. There's still so much to do in Disney World. There's so much cool stuff. So even if you don't get to do a couple of the things on your itinerary, you should still be able to do about 24 other things just fine. All right, now it's time to grab the sparkling cider, sing a round of Auld Lang Syne, and get to planning. Remember to keep checking back here as we continue to put out even more 2023 planning videos throughout the remainder of this year and on into next year to guarantee you'll be set up for Disney World success. And grab that full list of tips at disneyfoodblog.com/2023 guide. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.